Now, if you're watching this video, some of you guys may be wondering, how come it seems like God forgot about me? I know some of you guys that's watching this video may wonder and feel like God forgot about you when the whole time. I'm going to share with you how God actually got you. I'm going to share with you how I can prove to you just by a few simple ways of looking at, your life in different ways, different viewpoints. I'm going to share with you guys in this brief video how God actually has your back and always had your back all along, and will continue to have your back as you move forward through life. Now, mind you, I don't have everything in the world, but I have every important thing in the world, which is one, the gift of life. I have family, I have a crib. Everyone in my house have their own car, their own vehicle. Myself, my wife, my daughter. And it may not seem like a lot, but we have the necessities. We have food, we have a roof over our head. We are blessed, and I'm blessed. And I know a lot of people want family. They want to be able to be more established in their life. And again, I'm not in a perfect position, don't get it twisted, but at the same time, I recognize my worth. I recognize how blessed I am. And so how is this coming from a person like me? Because I also have a past, and I don't talk about that past too much on here. Over a period of time, I will go in depth with the things that I've gone through, the experiences that I've faced that may be very similar to you guys. You always see me smiling. You see, the achievements. You see me on my hustle, my grind. But you guys don't really know my past. And my past really has a lot to do with one of the reasons why I come through with these videos, because it's not to just dig up my past just to, live in a funk or nothing like that. It's more so to come through with videos recognizing that just like I've gone through some things in my past, some hard times, some hardships in my past. And of course, life, always is going to life. So you're going to have your bumps and bruises along the way. But in terms of like the tough years in my life, I don't talk about it, and I haven't talked about it. I may briefly talk about it from time to time, but for the most part, I really don't get into the subject. But I knew that I would at some point, for the simple fact that my goal is to give back and help others. My goal is to show others how I got through a lot of the pain, a lot of the trauma, a lot of the events, the hardship, people not being there in my life. I got through it, and I was bitter towards God many times, but I never lost faith. There was times where I questioned God. There was times where I didn't understand, like, why me? Why am I going through so many hard times in my life? And why did it happen at such a young age? Almost as if it felt like my life was meant to basically live hard. It was almost like I was meant to live a hard life. So I'm doing this video because I want you to understand how my outlook changed, and how not only my outlook changed, but once my outlook changed, I started taking action and doing things that would contribute to my growth, that would contribute to me being in a much different position, mind, body, and spirit. And I know you may be thinking that God overlooks you. I know you may be thinking that God just forgot about you, or God sees you or brought you into this world to be a part of the scum of the earth. For some of us, I know it may not be where other people in this world see themselves or view themselves like that, but to whom it may concern, or to whom that don't know, there are many of us who have faced those challenges in life where we felt like we're scum of the earth, where we felt not valued. We face certain challenges, certain adversity that just seems to never let up. And so, of course, when you go through it, I can relate. Sometimes you lose hope. You get depressed, you deal with anxiety, you deal with stress, on so many levels. It just affects you on so many levels of life. But let me tell you, what if I told you that this is just God's way of preparing you for greatness? What if I told you that this is just God's way of preparing you as one of his toughest soldiers, who may have to go through some tough battles to prove that everything that you've gone through, the trials, the tribulations, everything that you had to endure, it brought you to this place. Everything that you had to endure, what if I told you that it is designed, it is meant to groom you and grow you up to be a great individual? What if I told you that all of it was meant to make you great? Whole time in our minds we're thinking that it's meant to push us back. Whole time in our minds we're thinking it's meant to keep us down or make us look overlooked in life. And I can understand how it could appear so. In brief, growing up, I was definitely that overlooked individual. I was the black sheep in the family. I was put out at a very early age, having to learn how to establish myself, try to learn how to understand life at the tender age of 13, out on the streets. realizing that I can't be a kid at this age. I can't be a kid at this age because I have to learn how to survive. Even though I had family, even though my family existed, I wasn't close to cousins, uncles, aunts, things of that nature. And of course, I wasn't close to my primary family, who exists, by the way, who's still alive, by the way. And mind you, although I wasn't perfect, I was like the average kid. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't a troubled individual. I didn't cause trouble in my environment. I wasn't in and out of jail. I would say, especially looking back, I was fairly a good kid. Always had a good heart. Just needed some direction. And trust me, I get it. You know, parents could be challenged. They have their own challenges. Some of that I do understand. You know, having to go to work and deal with kids and things of that nature. But at the same time, there's just certain things that just shouldn't happen to you when you're a kid. You shouldn't have to be trying to figure out where you're going to live at the age of 13. You shouldn't have to worry about that. You shouldn't have to be worrying about how you're going to eat at the age of 13. You shouldn't have to be worrying about how come everybody in the house has a key to a refrigerator that has been locked. How everyone has the key to a refrigerator that has been locked by your father. Everyone in the house has a key to eat. My younger sister, my older sister, my mother. Whole time it's a lock and chain like a slave, bro. Like a slave. It's a lock and chain on the refrigerator. Everyone has a key but me. Because my father found that it wasn't important for me to eat. He found that it was not important for me to eat. If I want to eat at the age of 13, I have to figure out how to find the food myself. And at the time, what I did was I had like $1 in my pocket. I did have like $1 to my name, and I went to the store. Back then you can get a bag of chips, a Snickers bar. You can do that for $1, not so much these days. But I went to the grocery store, or should I say the corner store, 7-Eleven to be exact, and I grabbed a Snickers bar. That was all I could afford to eat at the time, and I brought it home. And when I brought it home, I guess my father took it personal, like I was showing off. I guess he took it personal that I was showing off because I came home with a Snickers bar, and it ate him up that I was able to provide food for myself. And so he kicked me out. He kicked me out because I came home with a Snickers bar because he didn't want me to eat. And so, mind you, I've been kicked out in and out the house many times, starting at the age of 13. Mind you, my neighborhood isn't the greatest, so not having anywhere to go, on top of the challenges of the neighborhood being what it is, like you could die in them streets. You could die in them streets from where I come from. And the fact that my family knew how challenged the environment was, I'm not going to get all into the spill, but I'm just giving you guys this example. But although they knew it, they still allowed me to be out there anyway. My father, he kicked me out. My mom was afraid of him. So, of course, in the streets, having to figure out where to live. I stayed with friends. Couldn't stay there forever, of course. They would pretty much talk my father in and let me back in. And we played this game growing up. You know, they would talk to my parents for hours, and it would take hours for my father for them to convince my father to let me back in. A week later, I'm back out trying to find a place to stay. I pretty much stayed at darn near every resident in the neighborhood. I've stayed at almost everybody's crib at least once in my neighborhood with their efforts to make sure that I had a place to stay and food to eat, and I'll forever be grateful for the ones that looked out for me. I stayed with strangers. I literally stayed with strangers. I met a young lady one day at a club. This is me a little bit older. Didn't have any, mind you, I was still young. I was still a teen. But I went out and literally went to the club, not knowing how I was going, like where I was going to stay, not knowing where to go to that night. But I met a young lady at a club, and I guess this is a bit of a story time too, but I met a young lady at a club, and we chopping it up. You know, the whole time I never really talked about my situations. I always just tried to, deal with it on my own. But I met her, and then I told her, she was like, "You ready to go home?" I actually just broke down and told her my situation. I ain't crowd, nothing like that, but I told her my situation. Never met this young lady, never knew this young lady a day in my life. And so she was like, "So you mean to tell me that you're not going to have anywhere to stay?" And I told her, "Yeah, I'm used to this. This is the way that I grew up." So she was like, hold up, let me call my mom. She stayed with her mom at the time. That's how young we were, but she stayed with her mom, and she was like, let me call my mom and let me, see if I can make a move. And I'm to myself, I'm like, there's no way in the world that your mom is gonna let me stay at your crib and I'm a complete stranger. So she got on the phone. She was on the phone with her mom for quite some time, maybe like 30 minutes or so. And then the next thing you know, she was like, you coming with me? And so I was like surprised, bro. I was like, her mom doesn't even know me. She don't know me from a can of paint. The young lady don't know me from a can of paint. And went to the crib, sat in front of her mom, explained my situation, and instantly they felt my energy, and they knew I wasn't a bad dude. I wasn't a bad kid, although my family at home couldn't see it. But they knew I wasn't a bad kid, and the whole time she let me stay there. And there was other family members that stayed there, and I slept on the floor, but I was grateful to be on that floor. They at least had carpet, you know what I mean? But I slept on the floor. I was grateful to sleep on that floor. But anyway, I say all that to say, clearly, not to get all into the whole spiel, but to tell you, like, give you a small frame of what my life was like. You can imagine anybody that had to grow up like that have gone through way more. There's so much more that I could talk about when it comes to my story. But I just wanted to just give you a brief. I'll get into it more over the course of me dropping YouTube videos. But I just wanted to give you an example. And I know people have gone through harder things than me. But I wanted to just say, despite all of those challenges, despite the mental state I was in, I grew to a point where I realized that even though it felt like I was set up to lose in life, even though it felt like I was set up to lose where nobody around me wanted me, God provided shelter anyway. God provided shelter for me anyway. God provided food for me anyway. I couldn't get it at home, but I got it from a stranger. I couldn't get it at home, but I got it from a friend. I couldn't get it at home, but I got it from a neighbor. I couldn't get it at home, but I got it from another neighbor. The neighborhood basically took care of me. The neighborhood took care of me, but ultimately I learned and I grew to a point where I realized that it wasn't just the neighborhood, it was God. It was God. How often can you say you could step outside of your house and be taken care of by complete strangers? How often can you, like, if you leave your crib right now, how often, like, what is the likelihood that you can leave out the house and say there's someone that you don't know or may know you, like a neighbor or something like that? What's the likelihood that for years and years at a time, complete strangers or friends, how many times can you say complete strangers or friends or associates or co-workers will take you in, and you've always had food, bro? You've always had room and shelter that wasn't your home, bro. You know what I mean? So for me, looking back at it, I realized that it was God protecting me. But it was also not only God protecting me, but God trying to groom me, God trying to elevate me, grow me up. And God told me, and he showed me, I'm carving out this path for you. You have to go through some rough trenches so that I could put you in this position that I'm in one day to not only tell your story, but to tell your glory. But to not only tell your story, but to give back and, showcase to others, man, no matter what you go through, no matter how hard the times is, you can persevere. No matter how hard the time is, you can actually still come out the victor and not the victim. You feel me? So I realized, man, my outlook changed when I realized that the storms didn't come to rain on me. The storms didn't come to throw havoc my way. The storms actually came to move everything to the side, to create a path for me to be where I'm at today. Let me repeat that again. When it's raining on you, when the times are hard and you're within the storm and you're in the storm, the eye of the storm do exist. There is a safe space for you even when you're going through it. And understand that the stuff that you're going through is not meant to keep you down. It's not meant to keep you suppressed. The stuff that you're going through is not meant to rain on your parade. It's meant to wash out and clear out your path so that you can see a clear vision of what's around you, so that you can see a clear vision of what you need to grow from, so that you can see a clear vision of your path, the path that God got you on, your purpose. And in order to do that, sometimes some things need to be revealed, bro. And what I understood is that in order to really be able to know how to navigate through your path, you need to understand what's around you. You need to understand the spirits that's around you. You need to understand what's around you, all the energies that's around you. You need to be able to see that as you navigate your way through your path, as your moral compass guides you, as God guides you. He want to reveal and show you who's around you. He want to teach you how to become strengthened in your spirit, to be able to see with your spiritual eyes more than your naked eyes, more than your natural eye. And in order for you to be able to pick that up, you need to gain wisdom. In order for you to gain wisdom, you need to gain knowledge, you need to gain understanding, you need to have clarity, you need to be able to see. You need to be able to see spirits for what they are. You need to be able to see people for who they are, bro. Even when it comes to the people around you, you still need to be able to see as you travel. You need to be able to see the energies. You need to be able to see the spirits. You need to be able to see what's in front of you. And you need to be able to learn from what is behind you. All of it grooms you. All of it tightens you up. All of it grows you up. It's just like working out, going to the gym, right? The more weight that you put on, your body gets accustomed to it, acclimated to it. You start curling 10 pounds, about a week into it, it gets easy work. So now, a stiffer challenge. You now have to take on 5 additional pounds, and now you're curling 15 pounds. Maybe heavy, but a week later, 2 weeks later, now you're curling 20. So you can endure and take on way more than you think. You're capable. You're more than capable. You have everything that it takes. You're fully equipped with everything within. You have greatness within yourself. You already have that within yourself. You have it. You just have to accept those challenges. You have to lift those weights in order for you to become a stronger version of yourself. You have to lift the weights of life in order for you to become a stronger version of yourself. As a trainer, once upon a time I was a personal trainer. One of the things that I was really good at, especially like in the beginning when, we're going through assessments and evaluating the person or the client, potential clients, we're evaluating them to see how strong they are. So I have a really good eye for seeing how strong a person may be. I'll test them with the weight to see how strong they are. Using curls, for example, I'll test them, and that first test will it'll let me know how strong they really are. And a lot of the times I would basically test them with the weight that they've never been tested with before. And they would look at me and laugh. Not everyone, but some of them, especially the ones that wasn't gym goers. But I would test them with the weight, and they would look at me and laugh and be like, there's no way I'm doing that. They would look at me and say, there's no physical way that I could actually lift this weight that you're asking me to lift. And I would just encourage them, just try. Like, let's just see. Some of them would literally tell me, there's no way I can do it. And I'm like, just try. And literally, after they pick the weight up and I have them rep it out, you can just see this new look on their face, this surprise shock look on their face of them actually doing what they thought they couldn't do. And it meant a lot to me because I'm like, this is where the journey begins. This is how the journey begins. The road to discovering new gains, new muscle. The reality is you have to challenge yourself. You have to be tested to see where you're at in order to see how far you need to grow and evolve. And that is just pretty much a lot like life. You're not going to get stronger if you're not being tested. You're not going to get stronger if you're not being pushed in order for you to push back. You're not going to get stronger if you're not carrying loads that may hurt sometimes. You're not going to get stronger if you don't test yourself. You're not going to get stronger if you don't carry weight that may feel like a burden at times, that may feel heavy at times. You're not going to get stronger or grow stronger if you don't carry enough weight that may challenge you, that may be tough at times, that may be tough for you. But you won't get stronger if you don't take it on and just keep pushing and keep pushing through. And that's how you get stronger. And next thing you know, when you look up, not only have you identified your strength, not only have you recognized your strength, not only do you grow more confident and develop more confidence along your path, when you look in that mirror, you see a reflection of strength. That same person that doubted, that same person that been through hell, bro, that same person that has been through so much, when you look in the mirror, you see a reflection of strength, because all of what you've gone through only makes you stronger. Last thing I'm going to leave you with in this video, I just want to ask you one question. Out of all of the things that you've gone through in your life, if you're watching this video, I want you to understand that you are undefeated, my friend. You are undefeated. If you're alive, you're undefeated. You beat everything already that have challenged you. Everything that looked like it should have taken you down, everything that felt like it should have taken you down, those dark days, those days when you're like, it's no way I can get through this. If you're watching this video, my friend, not only did you survive, you have the opportunity to thrive if you want to. But you survived it most definitely because you're here. When you look back on your life and you look at your circumstances, even if you're currently going through something, How many times have you survived it, no matter the circumstance? How many times have you found yourself still having a meal by the end of the day when you thought you couldn't eat? How many times have you found yourself still being able to find your way through whatever the situation was? When you look back on it, you're like, I got through it. I got through it. And the reason why you got through it is because God got you through it. The one person that you may feel the need to blame is the one person who got you through it, who had your back, who protected you the whole time. You just need to learn that lesson. At every level, bro, there's a lesson attached. It's not meant for you to take a L as a loss. It's meant for you to take a L as a lesson so that you can learn, so that you can overcome, so that you can get to the next L. Levels. It's levels to this life, bro. It's levels and it's stages. And all of it is meant for you to grow. All of it is meant for you to get stronger. I'm not in that same situation I was years ago. I survived it. And I grew to a point in my life where I realized it's not even just about survival, it's about thriving. I grew to a point where God knew he needed me to be in this position to record these videos, to share it with someone who may need it, someone who could use it, someone who could find new hope, someone who may need a little jet fuel, a little inspiration, a little push so that they can get back on that path of purpose. So if you're watching this video, you've gone through some things or you're currently going through some things. I've been through some things too. I only mentioned a few, but I've gone through some things too. Some may be worse, some may not be. I just want you to know that it's meant for you to grow. It's meant for you to not feel trapped. It's meant for you to get up out of that depressed seat that you're sitting in. It's meant for you to take action. It's meant for you to look at the good among the bad and focus on the good, capitalize off of the good, use the good to navigate your way through life. Trust me, it will get better. It will get better for you. God's got your back. God's got you. When you feel like God doesn't have your back, when you feel like God doesn't got you, I promise you God's got your back. And you may not have a lot of family, you may not have a lot of friends, and that's okay. God needs you to use that time to focus on developing you, growing yourself. Your family will come in due time. Your family will come in due time. Focus on your purpose right now. Take this time that you have alone and start building yourself, constructing your vision, walking on your path of purpose towards greatness. Because I promise you, it's not meant to keep you down. God is here to hold you down and have your back every step of the way. So as cold as it may feel in your life, the challenges that you're facing, you're depressed, going through it all, having to still show up at work every day with a smile, having to hide that pain, I understand. I've been in your shoes, and I just want you to know that God's got your back through it all. You just have to find it. You have to search for it. Sit with God every day. Let him groom you. Let him grow you up, because greatness not only resides in me, greatness also resides in you. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notification if you guys want to see more videos like this. If you want to hear my story and you're interested in my story, I will come through with these videos over a period of time. I'm going to do it in God's time, not on my time. I want to share it in God's time. When God tells me now's the time to go ahead and share your story or more of your story, that's when I'll do it. But I definitely encourage you guys to log all the way in. Let's grow this love muscle, man. Let's go against the negativity. Let's go against hate in this world. Let's build this love muscle here on this Dream Drivers Legacy channel. And let's keep moving with the purpose, in purpose, on purpose. Always remember, God's got you. Do what brings life to you. And it's a great chance that you'll bring life to whatever it is that you do. You already know, rain, sleet, or snow, the goal is to #grow. Peace and blessings. Your boy D. I see y'all in the next one. One love, strength.